So, Mark, a couple days ago, you took out your first veterans, right, on Lake Geneva?
Right. We did our first trip with the Elite Veteran Outfitters. We had a great time, and I would love to tell you and everybody about it. And
I would love to hear
more
about it.
importantly, show you some video and some pictures because we caught some decent fish.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So we'll do this as our On the Water Wednesday episode, and kind of let everybody know how our first Elite Veteran Outfitters trip went.
Awesome. Okay.
Stick around, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher.
I'm Megan Fuller.
So yeah, our On the Water Wednesday episode this week is going to be kind of showing you a little bit about what we did on Saturday with the two veterans that we had out.
You had two veterans?
Yeah. So what this was we had a younger veteran come out in the morning, and he went out from 6 o'clock until 10 o'clock.
Okay.
And then another vet came out. Was supposed to go from 11 o'clock to 3, but he was there when we came in at 10, so we just took off right at 10 and
kept on fishing.
Yeah, I mean, Bo over at Elite Veteran Outfitter said, Mark, you want to take an hour and go get something to eat? I'm like, no, I want to keep fishing, let's go. so we went out right away. Yeah, so two different guys went out.
Okay.
And our first veteran here is this is Ryan, and young guy with a family, and just his experience was kind of taking his kids out fishing every once in a while, but
teach your kids how to fish.
Teach kids how to fish, and he's definitely doing that. Was telling me stories about taking his kids to trout farms and things like that, and so we started out, and I do have to tell you that this was a day when we were fishing, but there was a 50-boat tournament going out of the same ramp on Lake Geneva, Angler's Choice. And I want to tell you something really, really positive that happened, but we'll get to that. So we got out about 15, 20 minutes before the rest of the guys took off starting their tournament. So we got to I had a fish marked that was on bed, and we started working that fish.
You had it marked because you also went out Friday,
I went out Friday just to kind of get a lay of the land, see what was going on. I knew that the smallies were probably going to be on bed. Wanted to kind of see what depth range, and and I wanted the guys to get some big fish. So if I found some bigger smallmouth on bed, I wanted to make sure we knew where those were. And
that's awesome that you put that time into it.
Yeah, and again, no, it was. Yeah, it was tough. I had to go out fishing. That was a real sacrifice.
You had to spend 2 days fishing in a row.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
So
you marked fish.
We marked fish, and we were able to get on a nice smallie to start out with. That smallie ended up being our teaching smallmouth. We didn't catch that one, but it got us to a point where I could work with Ryan a little bit in terms of his casting and his accuracy and what we were looking for, in terms of how the fish would react to the bait. Then we went up shallow, and we were just going to kind of do some blind casting, and it didn't take very long before we came up on a largemouth that was on a bed. So what we did by moving to a largemouth that was on a bed, they're a little less aggressive than the smallmouth, but because they bed in shallower water, you can see a little bit more clearly what they're doing. So I thought that made sense for us. Let's move to that. And one presented itself. It was right there. We power poled down. We could see that fish. And Ryan was able to see how that male was, when he threw his bait in there, how that male was spinning around and kind of paying attention. And we talked about that in an episode that we did about fishing bedfish. So we worked that male, and that male was getting agitated. The neat part about it was that we threw the bait in. He was working that bait from the far side of the bed closer to the male, and as he was working that bait, out of nowhere, a big female came. We had never seen the big female the entire time we were working it. She came out of nowhere and just wailed on that bait. There was no, she was eating it. She was attacking it. She wasn't moving it. She was attacking it. And he set the hook on it and he fought that fish. It was awesome. He did a great job. We were both just surprised as heck that because we were looking at the male and all of a sudden this fish came out of nowhere and got it.
The woman was hungry.
That was his first fish that he caught on the day, and then we went and caught the male. After that, it didn't take very much, and we got the male to go too. And then we went, and here's what I wanted to tell you about with the guys from Angler's Choice, the tournament organization. So we were working around, and there were a lot of boats that were out there catching fish, and they had done the same thing where they marked fish the day before. And so we were milling around, and one of the anglers kind of said, hey, are you guys in the tournament? And I explained what we were doing, and he's like, you know what, we're looking for fish of a certain size range, and they literally pointed out a couple of fish that were on bed that were right behind their boat that they had checked with a flogger and was like, I don't think those fish will help us, or if they will, it's going to be real close, because he caught this fish off that bed thanks to the help from the guys on Angler's Choice. Ryan, you just caught a pretty good sized smallie there.
Oh yeah, it's huge.
All right, let's get him back in the water.
All right, sounds good. There he goes, right under the boat.
All right, so we're here on Lake Geneva. You've gotten a largemouth off a bed, and you caught the female. Let me get the male, thanks, I appreciate that. But you got the bigger fish on that one, and then you got this smallie, nice smallie off the bed too.
Oh yeah.
And that was a Ned rig that you caught that one on. What did you catch the largemouth on?
I think we might have been using the same Ned rig, right?
Was that the Ned rig, or was that the Wacky Rig Cinco on that one?
I think it was the Wacky
Rig Cinco. Well, we still got about an hour, so we're going to go out and do a little bit more. But let me ask you a quick question. You know that you're the first guy that I've taken out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you were.
Oh, wow. Well,
Maybe I shouldn't have told you that.
I was going to say, you're a pro, you're great at teaching stuff, and I've learned a lot, especially about bass and how to fish for them.
So more importantly, did you have a good time?
Oh, yeah, I'm having a blast.
Excellent, great. All right, well, we're not done, so let's go catch some more fish, all right?
All right, awesome.
All right, thanks, appreciate it. So Ryan ended up catching a nice largemouth and a nice smallmouth, along with some rock bass as we were going, and like I said, that smaller largemouth that we caught and things like that. And so then we got done with Ryan, and we came back to the dock, and Patrick was ready to go. He didn't want to wait till 11 o'clock any more than I wanted to, and so we got going. And with Patrick, we started on largemouth.
So before we start talking about your second trip, when there's that little break in between, I just want to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. If you like our content, please push the like button with our videos, and leave your comments about maybe experiences that you've had, or ideas of what you want videos to be about, because we try to make these videos about you guys.
I'm also going to add that, guys, if you have the ability, this would be a time for you to look up Elite Veteran Outfitters, and if you can, make a donation. This is a great organization, and what they're doing for our vets is super important. And I'm telling you, I felt great about what I did.
I bet.
And I think, our viewers may not have the opportunity to do what I did over the weekend, but you can be a part of that as well by making a contribution to Elite Veteran Outfitters. So I would certainly look at that.
And if you know veterans.
Yeah, and if you know a veteran, nominate them to be part of it too. But yeah, for sure, think about contributing to Elite Veteran Outfitters. So let me tell you a little bit about our second veteran, whose name was Patrick. We started on largemouth. Instead of, we kind of did the opposite. And I'm going to let Patrick kind of describe the first, because the very first largemouth that we came across that was on a bed, he caught it. And I'm going to let him in this video kind of tell you about how he did that one. All right, so we're out here on Lake Geneva. Patrick, you just told me that was the biggest bass that you've ever caught.
Ever caught in my life. Yes.
We're out here and caught it on a wacky rig Cinco, and I had one on that I was reeling in, so we had our double. We got that out of the way right away.
Yeah, both hit at the same time. Mine was a fighter though.
And yours was bigger, like twice as big as mine.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
So now, you saw that fish on the bed.
Earlier we saw it on the bed. It was swimming around protecting that area, and I ran the lure over it a couple times. The advice you gave me about casting out away and then bringing it in and letting it drop, that was very helpful. A few times he may have hit it, wasn't sure, but this last time when I saw the lead take off.
You saw that line move.
Yeah, I saw the line move, and when I set, it set good.
You set that good. You did a nice strong hook set, and when you set the hook and it was on there, what did that's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
right?
that's when the fight started.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, look, you want to go get some more?
Let's do some more.
All right.
Sounds good.
So you guys both caught fish. I thought this was supposed to be about the veterans.
It was totally about the veterans. I kind of flipped the bait out as I was watching him work that fish on a bed, and I just kind of accidentally got bit and was reeling it in.
Cool.
And I don't know if he said this in that part or not, but he was looking over at the fish that I was landing, and he looked back at his fish that he was working. And when he saw that line move, he set that hook, and he did a great job. I don't know if I said it as well as I want to, but he did a great job. He reacted to that line moving just like we had talked about, set the hook, and he really fought that fish back, and so he got that. That's the biggest fish he ever caught, he said. So that's his personal best on largemouth, and so now we said, okay, let's go look for smallmouth. So we went back to the same general area that Ryan and I had been fishing.
Okay.
And one of the neat parts about doing this is that these guys were very much into learning. They weren't out there just to, fish. It was teach me how to fish better. Whether it's teach me how to cast better, teach me more about the intricacies of what we're doing. And in this video, Patrick's going to explain, he caught a really nice smallmouth, but he's going to explain how that happened and what happened to get that to take place. Smallmouth? I told you those are fighters. Look at the size of that. You want me to help you yet, or are you still? Hang on.
We need the net.
Let's get the net. Holy cow, look at that. Come on. Look at that one. Nice.
Oh, you got it in there deep.
Oh, I'll say. Ned rig. All right, there's a nice 3.5 pound smallie on the Ned rig on Lake Geneva. Nice job.
Thank you.
Nice job. Awesome. Let's let him go and we can talk about how you caught it.
All right.
There he goes. So was that a fish that you were fishing for on a bed, or kind of just blind?
It was blind.
Blind casting. Okay.
But it was that ridge that you wanted me to run it across.
So what we were doing, guys, we were just talking about this, is we're in about, I don't know, 18-20 feet of water, and we know that there's a 8-foot flat. And we were talking about, instead of casting directly up on the flat and casting back, casting perpendicular to it, right? That's the word, and coming across, because you come in contact with more fish that way.
Increase our chances.
And that's exactly what happened. Excellent job. Great. We're gonna keep at this. Nice.
Thanks.
So it sounds like he was using a specific technique that you taught him, or that he just knew. Or...
But again, I taught him because he was asking questions about what we were doing, and I said, okay, well, this is what you're doing, but if you want to increase your odds to do even better, then cast diagonally. This is a video, as you know, Megan, that I did yesterday on the channel and brought that tip out to everyone. So that same tip that we talked about in yesterday's video, this is the incident that happened with Patrick that I brought that out on the video yesterday. But it worked to a T. That 3.5 pound smallie that he caught there, and then he proceeded to just keep going. He was catching some other smallies that were not quite as big as that one, but we ended up having a really good day, and he caught a few more fish throughout the rest of the day. But those were the two big ones, that big largemouth and that big smallmouth that he got.
It sounds like the veterans had a really good experience and a very positive experience. Do you kind of feel like that was the case?
I really think they did, and I hope they did. And that was obviously my goal. But I got to tell you, Megan, I mentioned this to Ryan as we were driving in. I had a great time. I had a phenomenal time with both of these guys, and my whole focus was making sure that they had a great time. But I did not realize how good a time and how good I would feel at the end of that day. And I was on cloud 9 that it went so well and that it was as good a day. I just loved it, and I can't wait to get out there and do the next one. Feels great to combine my love of fishing with doing a good thing for for other people like this. So yeah, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. We hope you enjoyed watching this footage and hearing our conversation. We've got another episode coming out tomorrow. We hope you'll stick around for that. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Take care.
Stay channeled.